And that right there is a really good quality, really nice river channel. Guys, I'm back on the river this morning doing what I love to do most, which is chasing after some good quality catfish out of the kayak. I didn't film an intro out here this morning. I figured I had a little ways to paddle. I've got a stretch of river here that's a new stretch of river, and I wanted to fish it, and I wanted to get here as quickly as I could, so I figured I'd just paddle down here and get baits in the water, and if I was fortunate enough to hook into a fish, turn the camera on and start the video at that point. Well, on this spot that I'm sitting just a few minutes ago, had what felt like a decent fish. Take the bait, was on the line there for a while. I went to push the button on the camera to turn it on. Wouldn't turn on, nothing. I went and pushed the power button to try and turn it on, wouldn't turn on. So, you know, these frustrations that you deal with when you're trying to film your trips. But anyway, I'm happy to be out here this morning. There's still a lot of day left ahead of me. So I'm about to pull baits off of this location and float downstream a little bit farther, see if we can find another fish to tangle with. So that's what I'm doing out here today. Stay tuned. Hopefully we have some action, have some fun out here today. I just finished filming that intro and something hit it like a flathead. I mean, I just felt a thump. But whatever it is, it's not running with that bait, so I don't know. I'm just gonna give it some time, see what happens, if anything. Hopefully we can get our first fish of the day. We can't either. We got a bait stole. We got some slime on the line there. We had a cat, and that was probably from that cat that was on and then got off, but oh, frustrating start to the day. Finally. Oh, and that definitely got water on the camera lens. Oh man, it's been a long time coming out here. That's all I can say about it. Been a long time coming. That is a really nice channel cat. Wow. Oh boy. Try and keep him best I can out of all this stuff. Man, he got me wet. I'm gonna have to clean that camera lens off. Oh geez. Well, finally we did get something. Honestly, at this point in the trip, I was not really expecting to catch anything. I was kind of thinking of what my next move was going to be at this point. I've been down here so long, nothing going on. I think part of that is just not being set up on the right spots. But finally we got on a location here that had a fish on it, and a good one too. Hopefully we can tucker him out and get him landed. I came down here today. Last week was a really good trip for me. I had caught 3 pretty nice flatheads. I'm not sure what the deal was with that trip, if it was the section of river I was fishing, or I was down here with live baits. Maybe it was the live baits. We'd had some storms moving in and out, and river levels had come up a little way, so there's a lot of different factors that could have influenced the success of last week's trip. But I was really hoping to come out here today and have another trip kind of like that, where I'm on the fish and I'm just catching them, you know. It was a lot of fun and to do that. But anyway, I'm down here on a new stretch of river. I've got cut bait today. I didn't have the opportunity to go out and catch the live bait. Takes a lot of time and a lot of planning and effort to catch them and keep them alive and haul them around with you. So I'm down here with the cut bait, a little easier to fish with, and just fishing a new stretch. I went farther downstream. I have permission on. Let me check this camera lens and clean it off here. Yeah, that lens was pretty soaked there, so I'm sure that footage, at least for a little while, didn't turn out super great. But Anyway, I just came a little bit farther downstream. I've got permission on a new stretch of river down through here, and I didn't get the chance last week to cover it all, so I wanted to get down here and keep going and see what else I could find. There's some good looking structure down through here. Some of it's not feasible to fish with a kayak the way, the way that I fish, and be able to anchor and adequately cover a location, fish it well. But regardless, we got this one fish here, and that's a really good quality. I don't know how well you can see it from here, but that's gonna rival my biggest channel cat of the year. I mean, that's a big channel catfish. So I'm going to, it looks like he's starting to tucker out a little bit, so I'm going to give him maybe just a little second longer and get myself situated here in this little kayak and try to get him in the boat if I can, get a picture with him. Alright, that's a really nice channel cat. Let's see if I can get a hold of him without him popping free. I always say if he does, well, at least I had the fight. At least we got to look at him. Man, I mean, look at the size of that. I mean, that thing is... I've caught him as long as that this year, but I don't think I've caught him as thick. That thing is really filled out here after the spawn. Has a nice channel cat. Let's see if I can get a hold of him to pop that hook out. It can be a challenge at times. He was hooked just like he's supposed to be, right in the corner of the mouth. Gave us our bait back too. And that is just a good quality channel cat. I'm real pleased to get it. Guys, I think what I'm gonna do here real quick is actually just work my way over to the bank. And if I can find somewhere I can get the kayak up on the bank and see if I can't just get a decent picture with him. I'm not set up here in the kayak to be able to get real good quality pictures. I kind of have to just do the selfie style photos. So anytime I get a really good quality fish like this, I like to, if possible, find somewhere on the bank I can get up there and just get a picture with it. So I think that's what I'm going to do here real quick. Alright guys, it's not going to be a real great quality video. Got some shade and some shadows, but that right there is a really good quality, really nice river channel. That's gonna rival biggest of the year. I mean, it's just, I've caught him that long, but just the girth on him, I mean, that's just a really good quality channel catfish. I wanted to get up here on the bank and get a picture with him just for myself, but he's obviously ready to go back in the water, so I'm gonna turn the camera off and go get him released, send him back home where he belongs. All right, man, that's awesome. Looks like we're not getting skunked out here today, which is always the goal. It's always a great achievement when you're able to accomplish that goal. So I'm gonna just float back to where we hooked that fish and drop another bait there. You never know. It's only gonna take a few minutes just to drop another bait. There may or may not be another fish on that location, but it can't hurt to drop a bait back down and just see what happens. And then we don't have very much farther that we're gonna float here before we hit the boundary to where we've reached the point where we've got to stop and turn around. But I floated past some excellent fishing locations on the way down here this morning, wanting to get to this stretch to explore it a little bit and see what's going on out here. So on our way back upstream, depending on how hot it is and what time it is and things like that, how hungry I am, we may stop and fish a few locations on our way back to where we launched the kayak. So you never know, might be some more action take place out here for us today. If not, totally happy with the catch that we had. That was a really good quality channel cat, and I'll take it any day when I can get a fish of that size, that quality. All right, guys, that is the bait that we had on. He left it on the hook there for us. Still in good quality. Only issue is the mouth there got torn a little bit where we had it hooked, so all we're going to do is just unhook. And in this case, the mouth is still in good enough shape, where the bait is. that we can go ahead and just rehook it through the lips, and we'll just go through that other nostril. And just like that, we've got another bait ready to send down that's there solid on the hook. Good as new. Will the camera work this time if he hooks up? I hope it will, because this is that same spot I was sitting on this morning where the stupid fish got away. Well, that one hit hard, didn't he? I think that's the hardest hitting fish I have probably hooked into this year. He went straight for the river channel, which is okay if he'll stay out of the snags that are over here. I don't know that he will. I'll try to keep him out of it. Try to get my arm out of the camera's main point of view there as well. Anytime you come out here and try to catch good quality fish like this is a challenge. But when you add any additional components to that, like the filming, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy and I chose to do, it just adds an additional element of difficulty. Trying to keep it pointed in the right direction, trying to keep your arm out of the stupid lens, which I fail at most of the time. Trying to be mindful of fish that are throwing water on the lens. But it is a lot of fun to do. Not near as much fun as it is just to catch these fish. And hopefully that one's hooked okay. He's got a big old hunk out of his top lip. I don't know what might have happened there, but he's got a wound there. If we can get him landed, be able to get a good look at it. But like I always do, we'll give him a minute, let him kind of settle down a little bit before I bring him in the kayak. Don't want to bring him in too green, and then we'll try to land him if we can, and if we can't, we had the fun of the fight. So give me just a minute, see if I can get this fish landed. Let's see if we can land that fish. Man, I sure wasn't quite ready to come in, but we got him anyways. Turn the camera around there. Let's get a look at the wound on this thing. That's another nice fish. Look at that wound. Wonder what happened there. It sure doesn't look like it feels too good. Well, maybe that hook he got in the side of the mouth will help take some of the focus, take some of his tension away from that previous wound. Pop that hook out. Hold him up for a picture of the lettuce. That is just another really good quality channel cat. Look at that wound, man. Interesting. But so this is what I was talking about with the selfie style. Guess I could turn the camera around, try to get a selfie with him. I doubt that I'm able to get that whole fish in the frame. Really not set up well for that. I need to maybe make some modifications to the kayak, but that's a real nice fish. Let's let him go home. Let you go over here on the right side, Mr. Catfish. We've had our fun with you for today. And there he swam off. Just like that, another fish in the kayak, another one back in the river. Feels good to pull a fish off of this location. I'm just working my way back upstream. I worked downstream as far as I could. I'm heading back to where I launched, but I'm just fishing a little bit along the way. I'm not quite ready to be done fishing, so I'm glad to have caught that other fish there, and I'm probably going to continue to fish a little bit as I work my way back up through here to get back to where I launched at. But it feels good to catch a fish off this spot where I had the first fish of the morning hooked up and couldn't get the stupid camera to turn on. I was talking about challenges that you have when you come out here and try to add an additional element to the difficulty of catching these larger catfish out of the river like this. But we made it work out on that one. Hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll make it work out on another one before we're done here today. Let's get a look at this bait, guys. That's the second fish I caught on it. It's been on the hook there for a little while. You can see Maybe that hook or that mouth got all tore up from catching that fish. If I was low on bait, I would reuse that. You know, it started to bleed out a little bit. I know the lighting's probably not great. You might not be able to see that real well. It's bled out a little bit there, but you can still see some of the pink there up along the spine and up inside that bait. It'd work to catch us another one. If I was low on bait, I would reuse that, but I've got plenty of bait with me out here today. That one's been on the hook for a while. We got 2 fish off of it, so I think I'm just going to toss that one and get another cut out of the cooler to just have a fresh piece on there. Okay, here we are again, hooked up. And looks like another channel cat. Another big one that ran straight for the channel, which is great to try and keep him out of the logs and the structure that we've got over here on the other side. Oh my goodness. I'll try and keep him out of that the best I can. Oh, it can be a challenge. And sometimes they're just not a great... Wow. It's soaking wet. Sometimes they're just not a great way to anchor yourself, and you just get pulled around, and you kind of have to just let these fish take you where they choose to take you, and just accept that there's really not a whole lot you can do. Just let them do what they want. And when they first hit, especially when they get the current behind them, when they run for the channel like that, on these short lines, I mean, there truly is nothing that you can do. You just kind of have to let it happen. Let them go where they're going to go, and just hope and pray that they don't get in the snags, and that you get an opportunity to get it landed and see what kind of a fish you hooked into. And this right here is, yet again, another extremely good quality channel cat. Well, we'll see if we can get this fish landed here. It's been a day full of big channel cats, and this right here is another one that I'm excited to get my hands on. Look how he's got the hook. That fish wasn't going anywhere. Just like that, we've got another really good quality channel cat in the kayak. And as I was saying, it's kind of been, or it has been, a day full of big channel cats like this one. And it's kind of funny how that works, because, you know, I come out, I catch both channel cats and flatheads. Turn the camera around here. I catch both channel cats and flatheads on live and cut bait. But it's just kind of funny because, you know, I've caught a lot of big flatheads on cut bait, which is what I'm using out here today. But this year, I haven't caught any, I haven't had any days where I've caught both channels and flatheads. You know, on those days where I'm getting a flathead bite, no channels to be found. On days like today, when I'm getting a big channel cat bite, I'm not finding any flatheads. So I don't know what the deal is with that. You know, there's a lot of question marks surrounding fishing, a lot of things that I just don't understand. I think a lot of people out there don't understand, but for me, that's part of what makes it so much fun, is that you just never know what's going to happen next. Let's hold that fish up for a picture. Do the best we can to get the entire fish in the frame. If I hold it at an angle here, I think we can see the whole fish, but that is just, again, another really good quality channel cat. You know, I don't have a scale with me. I don't often bring a scale. I don't bring a board. I like to save as much room as I can in the kayak and avoid as much hassle as possible. But I mean, if I'm just guesstimating, I mean, all the fish we've caught today have been 10 pounds plus. Just really good quality fish. Let's get them released. Let's send him home on the right side of the kayak over here. And just like that, he's gone. Well, we've kind of scraped out a bite out here today. We just got the one fish going down that stretch of river that I wanted to fish today. but we've caught a couple just working our way back to where we launched from. I don't know if I'm going to how much longer I'm going to fish out here. I've still got a ways to go before I'm back to the launching point. I'll probably drop a couple more baits and see what happens. But so far, man, just had a lot of fun out here today. Had a really good quality fish, the ones that we've caught. Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and film a closing now. You might be able to hear the thunder in the background. Skies were clear. I tend not to pay a whole lot of attention to radar. I should be better about that, but we had a pop-up thunderstorm come up and it is heading my way. I've got to paddle quite a ways still against the current to get back to where I launched, so not really looking forward to that, but I'm going to try and beat this storm out of here so I don't get soaked. So I've had a great trip out here today. I really enjoyed my time. Hooked into some really good quality channel cats out here today. The way that I fish and the baits that I use a bait that's small enough that I catch a few more fish because of the size of the bait. If I use a really, really large fish, I might limit my catch. But I do limit my catch where, I could fish just a really short stretch of this river with some worms and a small sinker and hook and catch numbers of fish. So when I make these trips to not get numbers, but I'm always hoping to get quality and choosing basically to sacrifice quantity for quality, and I was fortunate to get that out here today, and that's not always the case. Sometimes we end up getting skunked. You guys tend not to see those videos because I'm not about to post them, but anyway, I'm going to stop blabbering here. I'm going to try and beat this storm out of here. I really appreciate you guys coming along with me. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and we will see you next time.